Welcome to my channel Daily Bulletin News. As JJ scrambles for answers, Chad gets just about the last news he wants to hear about Clyde. On today's Days of Our Lives, Tate and Holly are working on a history paper on their laptops on the karaoke's couch. Tate tells Holly that Aaron won't be over, seeing as how he's got a lot of drama going on in his family life. He calls Aaron and leaves a voicemail to let him know they'll put his name on their history paper, so he doesn't have to worry. Holly wraps up her part and Tate decides it's time for a break since they're almost at a year together and only ever had one official-ish date. It's time for a do-over. Up in Vancouver, Kat tries calling Chad to tell him about her mom heading to Clyde's, but it goes to voicemail. Seconds later, she gets a call from Aaron asking if she found Mom. Kat tells him she did, but flashes back to their mom grabbing her gun and running off. She sort of slipped through my fingers. Aaron wants answers, but all Kat can say is that Clyde really messed with their mom's head. She promises she'll call him as soon as she finds their mom again. They hang up and she starts going through her mom's purse. Over at Clyde's, Chad informs the villain that his games are over, while Gabby and JJ keep their guns trained on him. Clyde agrees, but then Katharina bursts in and shoots him. "Katharina," Chad cries, "what have you done?" She starts ranting about Clyde lying to her, promising to be her friend, when Chad snatches the gun from her hand, then goes over to try shaking Abigail's whereabouts out from Clyde before he dies. Gabby warns him Clyde's losing a lot of blood and Chad tells JJ to call an ambulance. He's not letting Clyde go without telling him about Abigail. Back in Salem, Steve's on the phone trying to reassure Jack that JJ and Chad are fine. Kayla gets home with shopping bags, saying she's treating herself since they finally found a replacement for Dr. Mark Green. Steve laments not doing more for Chad and JJ and wishes he was up in Vancouver with them. Kayla coyly tells him he needs a big distraction, like wrapping the gifts she just got, but first, they head out to get a tree. They get back and Steve teases Kayla about picking the saddest tree on the lot. Kayla says they didn't need a big tree since they're shipping gifts to most of the family this year. Steve says they can take advantage of their empty nest and they start to kiss, then start going through the tree ornaments. They reminisce over a few of the ornaments, then start talking about how tough Christmas has to be this year for Hope and Julie this year. They go through a few more, as Steve laments not being around for Stephanie growing up. They then find a candle that Kayla and Stephanie would light every year when it was just the two of them and put it in the window to guide travelers back home for Christmas. And one year, it guided Steve home. Tate and Holly, meanwhile, head out to the square and, after some debate, decide to go ice skating. But then Tate spots Aaron, who fills them in on what Kat told him, but he still has no clue what's going on. All he can do is wait for Kat to call back. Tate and Holly invite him to go ice skating, but he declines. He's bad company, and he has to get Felicity gifts, though he doesn't know what to get. That's okay, Holly tells him, "We've got you." They sit down at a table and Holly asks a few questions to help make a list for Felicity. They settle on Wellington boots, and Aaron says he just needs 7 more for Hanukkah. His family celebrate that and Christmas. Once they've got the list, Aaron tells them to go ice skate. He doesn't need a pity hangout. Holly then offers him money if he needs it, since Grandma Maggie is rich, but he tells her that right now, he just needs his friends, and he's lucky to have them. By the time Kat gets to the apartment, Chad and Clyde are off to the hospital. JJ and Gabby angrily tell her what her mom did and say she's at the hospital too, in shock. Kat runs off and JJ digs through his computer, determined to find something before the cops show up and kick them out. He can't find anything, though, and loses it. He can't go home to his parents without answers. "They're counting on me. It's their daughter." Gabby reassures him that whatever happens, she's still gone. Her body's missing, not her. Abigail is resting in peace. She's got no doubt that despite their differences, Abigail's in heaven looking down on JJ wishing he could find some peace. As a tear rolls down his face, she suggests they go to the hospital. He's already been the best brother Abigail could have had. At the hospital, Chad asks for info on Clyde from the doctor, claiming to be Ben. The doc gives him the news that Clyde flatlined and is unconscious as he goes through emergency surgery, which he passes on to Kat when she shows up. What happened? He demands to know. Kat tells him her mom remembered her and ran off after tricking her in close to grab her gun. Kat thought she might shoot Chad and was worried, and he admits he was worried about her, too. Kat's a bit surprised, but yeah, he was worried for her safety. Then a cop leads Katharina by them in handcuffs, and she apologizes for what she did. Kat assures her mom that whatever Clyde did to her wasn't her fault. Katharina says she wants her daughter to know how much she loves her and all her kids. Tell me, are they all right? Kat assures her they are and Katharina thanks her just before the cop leads her away. In the show's final moments, Steve gets off the phone with JJ and fills Kayla that everyone's fine, including Katharina. Wow, that's got to be such a relief for John, Kayla says. For me, too, Steve tells her. Kayla thinks that they got their Christmas miracle, especially since Steve doesn't have to hunt down Clyde anymore. Holly and Tate walk through the park where they agree that they want to be there for Aaron. He's a good friend and Holly says she's already let Sophia down. They flirt a bit, then hug. Aaron, meanwhile, is on the phone with his sister, dumbfounded that their mom got arrested. Kat assures him that their mom was kidnapped and was acting in self-defense. She'll get out. Kat hangs up and tells Chad she's praying he finds the answers he needs. That's all he wants. JJ and Gabby show up with the news that they couldn't find anything. Chad assures them it's okay. Then the doctor shows up to tell his son that Clyde made it through surgery, but he won't be saying much now or probably sometime ever. He's in a coma. Stay tuned and subscribe the channel.